Wait. You ever wonder why the people closest to you, your own blood, turn their backs like strangers? Yeah, this one's gonna sting. Bad. Because tonight, we're diving deep, too deep, into that quiet betrayal that nobody talks about. You know what I mean? The kind that doesn't shout, it just cuts. The kind where smiles fade, rooms go cold, and suddenly you're the problem. Oh, yeah, I felt that too. Every single bit of it. So don't move. Not yet. Because what's coming next is the truth they never wanted you to hear. Nah, this ain't some sad story. This is a wake-up call, a psychological storm, a mirror to your pain. And trust me, once you see it, you'll never see them the same again. You're not crazy for feeling distant. You're not weak for walking away. You're evolving. They didn't turn on you because you failed. They turned because you grew. Oh, and when you grow faster than their comfort zone, they call it arrogance, right? Nah, it's liberation. It's you breaking the pattern that kept everyone small. So here's my deal. If you've ever been blamed for being real, if you've ever been pushed away for standing tall, this monologue, this one is for you. Because I'm not just telling a story, I'm holding up a mirror. And when you see what's staring back, you'll understand why it had to happen. Stick with me till the very end. Don't blink, don't skip, because by the time this ends, you'll know exactly why they turned, and more importantly, why they can't stop watching you rise. Now hit that comment box. Yeah? Drop your truth below, your story, your scars, your survival. This space, this tribe, this energy, it's for you. Because the world tried to break you, and somehow you're still here. So let's honor that together. Now, let's begin. They didn't betray you because you were wrong. They betrayed you because you saw what they refused to face. Oh wow, that stings, doesn't it? The kind of sting that doesn't bleed. It burns, quietly, slowly, like something eating through your chest while everyone else smiles as if nothing happened. You sit there wondering why. Why do the people who once shared your food, your laughter, your walls, suddenly treat you like a stranger they can't stand to look at? You start questioning yourself, did I change? Or did they? Nah, you didn't change. You evolved. And that's what terrified them. You see, family isn't just blood. It's reflection. And when you start clearing the dust off your own mirror, their faces begin to tremble in yours. They don't hate you. They hate the version of themselves that your growth exposed. You started speaking the truth. You started setting boundaries. You stopped nodding at nonsense just to keep the peace. Oh, peace. What a pretty little lie that word is. Because sometimes peace is just silence choking you from the inside. And when you refused to play their script anymore, they panicked. They whispered. They twisted. They turned your courage into arrogance, your silence into guilt, your independence into rebellion. They needed to make you the villain, because admitting you were right would crush the illusion they built their comfort on. Let's face it, comfort makes people cruel. When you disrupt the pattern, they claw to protect it. You wanted truth, they wanted routine. You sought clarity, they sought control. And when truth meets control, something always snaps. That's when the eyes change, the warmth fades, the laughter turns sharp. Oh yeah, you felt it, didn't you? That shift in the air, that sudden cold at the dinner table, that unspoken "you're not one of us anymore." But here's the twisted beauty of it. Their rejection was your initiation. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to break out. Their betrayal wasn't your downfall. It was your awakening. Every jab, every rumor, every silent treatment. They were chiseling you into something harder than loyalty, sharper than fear. See, the moment you realized you could survive without their approval, that was the moment you became untouchable. That's the real reason they turned on you. Not because you failed them, but because you stopped needing them. Independence, my friend, is the loudest form of rebellion there is. And deep down, they know it. That's why they talk, because they can't follow. That's why they mock, because they can't match. That's why they left, because staying near your fire exposed their shadows. You became a mirror they couldn't bear to face. But don't hate them. Understand them. Weak hearts protect themselves by breaking others. You just happen to be the nearest reminder of everything they ran away from. They thought breaking you would make you quiet, but breaking you only made you real. Yeah, that's the irony, isn't it? The same mouths that said they wanted your good were the first to choke you when you grew too strong for their comfort. Oh wow. It's almost funny in a dark kind of way. You were supposed to stay small, grateful, predictable. You were supposed to smile through the silence and nod through the disrespect. But you didn't. You stood up. You said enough. And that one word, that one act, flipped their whole world upside down. When you stop bending, people who benefit from your weakness start calling you difficult. They mistake your calm for coldness, your focus for pride. But nah, you're not proud. You're awake. You've simply learned that not every voice deserves a response, and not every bond deserves your energy. You stopped explaining your worth to those who refused to see it, and that right there was your rebellion. You see, the ones who turned on you weren't villains in masks. No, they were ordinary people trapped in patterns. Patterns of ego, patterns of fear, patterns passed down like old furniture, scratched, heavy and full of dust. And when you dared to question those patterns, you became a threat. You weren't rejecting them, you were rejecting what they'd settled for. That's what scared them the most. Because deep down, they saw you walking out of the cage they'd learned to decorate. And oh, how they tried to drag you back in. Through guilt, through gossip, through silence. That's how families fight. Not with fists, but with withdrawal. They wanted to see if the old version of you would crawl back, desperate to be accepted again. But you didn't crawl. You stood taller. You walked slower. You moved forward with that quiet, dangerous calm that said, I remember what you did, but I'm done explaining it. That silence of yours, it unsettled them, because they realized they no longer had power over your emotions. You weren't the same person they once controlled. You had turned pain into patience, wounds into wisdom, and rejection into raw power. And that's when the whispers turned into fear. Because once you stop reacting, you become unpredictable. And once you're unpredictable, you're unstoppable. Every moment, they tried to bury you with doubt, with blame, with mockery. They forgot one simple truth. The fire they threw you into wasn't your ending. It was your forge. You didn't burn. You hardened. You didn't fall apart. You crystallized. Now they watch you rise. And they can't understand it. They wonder how you kept your heart clean while walking through their mess. They wonder how you can still look at them without hate. Simple. Because your strength isn't revenge, it's restraint. You don't need to destroy them to prove who you are. Their actions already did that for you. When you've been silent long enough, your existence itself becomes the loudest reply. Oh wow, they thought your quiet meant defeat. They thought your calm meant surrender. But nah, Your silence wasn't weakness. It was focus sharpening itself in the dark. Every second you said nothing, you were building something. Strength, clarity, precision. You weren't running from the storm, you were becoming it. And now, they sense it. The shift, the unease, that invisible pressure that builds before a thunderclap. They can feel your presence like a truth that refuses to stay buried. You walk into a room and their laughter stiffens, their eyes dart, their words stumble, because deep down, they know the person they tried to erase has returned with eyes that see too much. Yeah, the reckoning doesn't come with noise, it arrives in composure. In the way you carry yourself, measured, deliberate, unbothered. You don't need to prove a thing. You already did when you survived what they never could. That's the part that eats at them now. The fact that everything they used to mock became the very armor that saved you. You see, betrayal has a strange side effect. It strips away illusions. It teaches you who to trust, but more importantly, who not to. It turns your expectations into discipline. It makes you guard your peace like it's gold. And once you master that art, once you learn to move without seeking approval, you become dangerous in a way that no noise can describe. Oh, and the beauty of it. You don't even want revenge. You've outgrown the urge to be understood. You're no longer fighting for validation. You're operating on purpose. Quiet, steady, grounded. You know now that every word doesn't need an audience, and every victory doesn't need applause. You walk differently because you finally know who you are, not who they told you to be. And that realization, that calm confidence, it drives them mad, because nothing frustrates small minds like watching the one they tried to break, refusing to fall apart. You became what they feared most, someone who forgave them without needing them again. That's the purest kind of power there is. So when they whisper now, let them. When they twist stories, when they play innocent, when they pretend it never happened, let them. You're past that. They're still playing in the smoke of what you already burned through. You're not fighting their ghosts anymore. You're walking toward a future they'll never reach because they refuse to face their own reflection. And that's the irony. Their betrayal made you see everything clearer. Their silence became your signal. Their rejection became your release. But now comes the real turning point, not about what they did, but what you'll do next. Because power, real power, isn't just surviving the fire. It's deciding what kind of light you'll become after it. Some people don't hate you for what you did. They hate you for what you survived. Oh, wow. They never expected you to come back stronger. They thought your silence was the end, not the preparation. They thought your stillness was surrender, not strategy. But nah, you were studying, watching, learning the difference between reaction and response. You learned that silence isn't weakness, it's observation before precision. You stopped shouting for recognition because you realized that truth doesn't beg to be seen, it reveals itself when time peels away the noise. Now look at you, calm, composed, unmoved by their gossip, untouched by their attempts to provoke you. You're not fighting shadows anymore, you're shaping destiny. They wanted to see you crawl, but you're walking like someone who's already forgiven the past and mastered the pain. That composure, it unnerves them more than any rage ever could, because they can't understand how you stayed human through their cruelty. Oh, the irony. They wanted you to break so they could say, see, we were right. But when you didn't, when you rose, they had nothing left to throw but confusion. You became living proof that endurance is louder than defense. And endurance, it's a language only the disciplined understand. You see, when you rise without bitterness, You expose everyone's character, not through your words, but through their reactions. Some will respect you for evolving. Others will twist your growth into arrogance because they can't stand to see you peaceful while they still live in chaos. That's the quiet punishment of truth. It humbles everyone who hides from it. Yeah, you've changed, but not in the way they feared. You didn't turn cold. You turned careful. You learned that protecting your peace doesn't make you distant, it makes you wise. You no longer walk into arguments. You walk past them. You no longer seek validation. You seek alignment. You no longer crave applause. You crave purpose. And every step you take now, it echoes, because it's the sound of someone who no longer owes anyone an explanation. You've become what their judgment couldn't destroy. Self-aware, grounded, and unshakably focused. You no longer carry the weight of their expectations because you've learned that some people only clap for you when you stay beneath them. So you stopped performing. You stopped waiting for understanding from those who never tried to listen. And in doing so, you became something dangerous, peaceful, in a world that profits from noise. Oh yeah, they notice. They whisper about your calm. They invent stories about your confidence. But that's just proof that your silence became their mirror. You remind them of everything they could have been if they had faced their own reflection. But there's still one final transformation. One truth that turns quiet power into unshakable destiny. Because rising isn't enough if you don't know what to rise for. They were never sent to destroy you. They were sent to reveal you. Oh wow, it's strange, isn't it? All that pain, all that confusion, all those nights wondering why them, why now, and yet here you stand. Stronger, clearer, calmer. The chaos they caused was never random. It was a test of what you were becoming. A pressure meant to expose what was hidden beneath the surface. The discipline, the patience, the unshakable self-control that no comfort could ever teach you. At first, you wanted answers. You wanted fairness. You wanted to know why your own blood could turn their backs so easily. But nah. Now you see. The purpose wasn't to make you question your worth. It was to make you find it alone, in silence, in struggle. Because sometimes the only way to understand strength is to lose every shoulder that used to hold you up. And that's what shaped you. Not revenge, not pride, but clarity. You stopped expecting loyalty from the disloyal, stopped searching for love in places that only held power over you, stopped pouring truth into ears that preferred lies. You began guarding your energy like it was sacred, not because you became selfish, but because you finally respected the weight of your own peace. Oh, the irony. The same ones who turned on you became the reason you turned inward. They forced you to build an armor made of discipline and a heart made of mercy. They thought they buried your fire, but you learned to control it. That's growth. Not loud, not violent, but steady. You learned that real strength doesn't scream, it endures. And now, you move with purpose. Every action is deliberate. Every silence is meaningful. You don't need to prove who you are to anyone anymore. Your patience already told the story. The betrayal wasn't your ending, it was your refining. Because pain, when faced with wisdom, becomes the greatest teacher there is. Yeah, they turned on you. But what they didn't realize was that turning on you only turned you on, awakened something in you that no approval could ever ignite. Oh wow, you made it till the end. That says everything about you. You didn't just listen, you felt it. Every word, every scar, every truth hiding between the pauses. You see, this wasn't just a speech, it was a mirror, and you had the courage to look straight into it. Most people can't. They scroll past their reflection. But nah, not you. You stayed. You faced it. You owned it. Yeah, your family might have turned on you. They might have walked out, twisted stories, tried to bury your name. But guess what? You're still standing. You didn't collapse. You transformed. You didn't fight to prove them wrong. You fought to become right within yourself. And that's the kind of power nobody can take away. So don't let this just be another video you forget tomorrow. Nah, let it sink in. Let it echo in your silence. Because from this moment on, you walk differently. You move with purpose. You speak with calm fire. You don't explain yourself to people who can't understand your journey. They lost access to you the moment they stopped respecting your truth. And if you're hearing this right now, I want to say thank you. Thank you for surviving what others couldn't even stand to watch. Thank you for proving that pain can shape character, not destroy it. Thank you for being you. You're not alone in this. You're part of something bigger. A tribe of the misunderstood, the unbroken, the ones who turned their pain into power. Now go, lift your head, steady your heart, and walk into the world like someone who finally knows their worth. You're the storm they thought they could silence, the calm they never expected, the lesson they never wanted to learn. Yo, hold up, wait, you actually went there? Wow, you really did it, huh? You crossed that line they said was untouchable, that zone everyone was too scared to even look at? Oh nah, you snapped. You moved differently. You shifted the whole atmosphere. And now look at them, panicking like the lights just went out. They're whispering, pointing, scrambling for control like, what did you just do? Yeah, they're freaking out. Because you didn't just make a move, you unleashed something. A storm, a truth, a version of yourself they never believed existed. But hey, pause right there. Breathe. Because what you're about to hear in this speech isn't just words. It's awakening. It's raw. It's dark. It's real. It's not a fairy tale. It's a mirror, a reflection of what happens when someone finally stops waiting for permission and acts. So don't blink, all right? Don't scroll away. Stay till the very end, because this one's for you. Yeah, you, the one who's been quiet too long, the one who's been underestimated, the one who's ready to stop holding back. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into a mindset that flips fear inside out. And I'm not here to preach. I'm here to remind you, you've got that spark, that silent power everyone keeps underestimating. And when it finally wakes up, oh, they'll all ask the same question. What nightmare did you have? But we both know it wasn't a nightmare at all. It was your clarity. Now drop a comment below. Tell me you're ready. Because after this speech, there's no going back. They weren't ready for you, and that's exactly why you had to do it. Hold up. You actually went there. You didn't just talk. You moved. You crossed that invisible line everyone swore you'd never reach. And now look at them, trembling behind their polite smiles, pretending to understand you, whispering your name like it's a warning label. Oh wow, they're freaking out. You can see it in their eyes, can't you? That quiet panic, that frozen disbelief. Did they really do it, they ask? Yeah, you did. You really did. But here's the thing. They never believed your silence had teeth. They thought your patience meant weakness. They mistook your calm for submission. And when you finally stood up, when you finally acted, it tore something open in them. Because now they see the thing they tried to bury, the truth. See, everyone loves to play the philosopher until the storm hits their window. They love to say, do what's right, until right becomes inconvenient. You shattered that comfort zone. You reminded them that principles mean nothing until they cost something. Oh, and that cost, it's written all over their faces now. Every widened eye, every tightened jaw, every fake laugh that's 1 second too long. Nah, don't soften it. Don't explain. Don't apologize. Because this reaction, it means you finally hit the nerve you were born to strike. That's the sound of reality waking up, screaming, who gave you permission to be free? And freedom, real freedom, it doesn't ask permission. It takes accountability, folds it into purpose, and burns through fear like wildfire. That's what you did. You burned through their fear, and now they call you the nightmare. Funny, huh? You're not the villain. You're the mirror they refuse to look into. And mirrors don't lie. They just show the face behind the mask. But you learned something tonight, didn't you? You learned that when you stop playing by their fragile rules, the world panics. The moment you say no more pretending, you stop being predictable. You stop being safe. You stop being controlled. Oh, but control. That's their favorite toy. They want you labeled, boxed, manageable. They want your fire bottled up in a smile that doesn't scare them. But what happens when the bottle breaks? What happens when silence finally speaks? When obedience turns into clarity? When patience becomes precision? You saw it, didn't you? The exact second their illusion cracked. The air changed. The smiles dropped. Their eyes said it all. What have you done? And that right there is where the story begins. Because every world shaker, every rule breaker, every silent one who finally spoke, I heard that same question. But you didn't answer it yet, did you? You just stood there, calm, steady, unreadable. And that silence, oh, that silence scared them more than any scream ever could. Because deep down, they know what you are now. Not a follower, not a bystander, a storm. And storms don't explain themselves. They just arrived. They just remind the world, nothing stays untouched forever. So yeah, you went there, you crossed the line they drew in chalk. And when the rain came, it washed their boundary away. Now they whisper, what nightmare did you have? And the answer, well, that's where it gets interesting. Clarity isn't kind. It cuts. It cleans. It exposes. You thought chaos was the nightmare. Oh, but clarity? Clarity is the one that actually hurts. Because when the smoke clears, there's no noise to hide behind. Just silence. And truth. And the truth doesn't whisper, it stares. It doesn't comfort, it demands. So yeah, you went there. You did the unthinkable. You turned the mirror around, forced them to see what they'd become. And oh wow, they flinched. They always do. People can survive lies for decades, but a single second of honesty, that's enough to break them. That's the real explosion. Not fire, not destruction, just revelation. You see, when you stripped away the fake smiles, the small talk, the performance, you didn't destroy their world. You revealed its cracks. You showed how weak their foundations were. They called it chaos. But no, it was order, the kind that comes when everything false finally collapses. Because before things get right, they must get real. And real life is terrifying. Real is standing in front of the storm you created and saying, "This is me now." Real is no longer asking for permission to exist. It's not rebellion. It's alignment. Alignment with truth, discipline, and justice that can't be swayed by fear. That's what they saw in you, and that's what unsettled them most. Oh wow. You could have stopped, right? You could have softened it, smoothed it over, apologized for their discomfort, but you didn't. You stood your ground because you understood growth doesn't happen in comfort. Transformation requires friction, and you were willing to stand in that fire of your own making, calm, steady, unbroken. Yeah, that's the nightmare they talk about. Not some beast crawling out of the dark, but someone who has accepted their own reflection. Someone who refuses to wear masks anymore. Someone who no longer fears the truth's bite. Because once you've faced your own shadows, no one else's judgment can touch you. Clarity burned away your illusions. It made you precise. It gave you vision. And with vision comes danger. Because now you see patterns where others see coincidence. You see motives behind every smile. You see weakness hiding under pride. And that sight, oh, it changes you. It makes you sharper, colder, more deliberate. Nah, you're not cruel, you're focused. There's a difference. You don't destroy for pleasure, you dismantle falsehood for progress. That's the difference between noise and purpose, between chaos and control. And now, your silence has weight. Your every movement carries intent. You've become the quiet calculation in a world addicted to distraction. And that's why they fear you. Not because you're violent, but because you're awake. You turned confusion into precision, panic into patience, rage into restraint. That's what real clarity does. It builds strength through control. But clarity alone isn't enough, is it? It gives you sight. Yes, but what do you do with it? Because seeing the truth and acting on it, those are two entirely different battles. Seeing the truth is easy. Walking through it, that's where most break. So now you see. You see the rot beneath the surface, the masks, the empty laughter trying to bury discomfort. You see how fragile it all was. But the real question, the one that splits the weak from the unshakable, is this. Can you walk through the fire without losing your shape? Because clarity without movement is just paralysis in disguise. You can't stare at the truth forever. You either act or you decay. And oh wow, the moment you start to move, that's when the resistance rises. That's when the quiet enemies step out, smiling like friends. The air gets colder. The noise gets louder. Everyone suddenly wants to advise you on how to shrink back into something they can predict. Yeah, they'll call it concern, humility, patience. But you'll feel it. It's fear. Their fear. Because once someone starts walking with purpose, they remind everyone else how still they've been. And nothing offends stagnation more than movement. You've probably felt it already, haven't you? That invisible pressure pulling you backward. The whispers. You've changed. You're too harsh. You think too much. But here's the truth. They don't hate your growth. They hate the reflection it forces. You're no longer a part of their comfort zone. You're the alarm clock they can't turn off. Nah. This isn't arrogance. This is discipline. This is restraint sharpened into armor. You're not fueled by rage anymore. You're fueled by control. The kind of control that turns storms into strategies. You don't shout to prove yourself. You move with intention. Quiet, deliberate, unstoppable. And oh, how it burns them. Because they can't predict someone who has mastered their own impulses. They can't manipulate someone who's already dissected their own fears. That's the secret, isn't it? Once you've faced your own chaos, no outside noise can command you anymore. You walk through fire not to destroy, but to purify. Every scar becomes a signature of endurance, not pain. But walking through it, it's not glamorous. It's lonely. It's slow. It's nights of silence where the only voice left is your own, and it doesn't flatter you. It questions you. It forces you to refine. Every step forward demands something from you. Patience, accountability, sacrifice. And most won't pay that price. They'll quit halfway, convincing themselves they've done enough. But you're different. You didn't come this far to retreat. You came to become, to emerge cleaner, sharper, grounded. That's the real nightmare for them. The idea that pain didn't destroy you. It disciplined you. Oh wow. They'll watch you rise from what they thought would bury you, and they'll whisper, how? But you'll just smile, won't you? Because they wouldn't understand that real power isn't noise, it's composure under pressure. It's the art of not breaking when everything dares you to. You've walked through fire, but that's only the beginning. Because walking is one thing, building is another. Anyone can rise once. But can you build something that can't be burned down? You've walked through fire, and it didn't consume you. It refined you. Now comes the harder part, building. Not rebuilding what you lost, no. Building something entirely new. Something that can't be shaken by noise, doubt, or betrayal. And oh wow, this is where most fall apart. Because creation requires more than strength. It requires structure. The kind of discipline that outlasts emotion. You see, destruction is easy. It's dramatic. It makes noise. But building demands silence, patience, repetition. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. It's those endless nights where you lay brick after brick while everyone else sleeps. And no one claps for that. No one celebrates the quiet work of becoming solid. But that's where real power hides, in the routine that no one sees. You're not chasing flashes anymore. You're constructing foundations. Each principle you hold becomes a stone. Each restraint you show becomes steel. Each moment you refuse to break becomes another wall between you and the chaos that used to own you. And that's terrifying to them, because they can't destroy someone who no longer needs approval. They can't manipulate someone whose worth isn't borrowed from noise. Oh wow. They'll try. They'll test you. They'll push every weakness, every old wound. They'll whisper nostalgia like poison, trying to drag you back to what's familiar. But you've changed. You're not chasing comfort anymore. You're crafting endurance. Every time you choose focus over impulse, silence over reaction, precision over pride, you're laying another layer of armor over your spirit. That's the architecture of the unbreakable. And yeah, it's lonely up there. The higher you build, the fewer people understand the view. They'll say you've become cold, detached. But they don't see it. You're not colder, you're clearer. You've learned that not everything deserves access, that not every noise deserves an answer. You protect your peace now, not out of fear, but out of purpose. Because you finally realized your life is not a reaction, it's a design. Every movement, every word, every silence, it's measured, it's deliberate, it's clean. You've turned pain into blueprint, discipline into structure, clarity into walls that nothing false can climb. That's not arrogance. That's evolution. Oh wow. Do you feel it? That stillness inside you now? That's balance. The storm didn't end. It learned to move with you. You don't fight chaos anymore. You harness it. You've become the builder and the weapon, the architect and the storm. But there's one last test, the final threshold between those who build and those who lead. Because once you've created something real, the world will try to take it. The strongest warrior isn't the one who conquers others. It's the one who guards his own peace when the world claws to steal it. So now, they've come. Not with armies or weapons, but with whispers, temptations, distractions. The moment you build something real, the world tests your right to keep it. Oh wow, you knew this was coming, didn't you? You could feel it. That invisible pull trying to drag you back to noise, to doubt, to weakness disguised as comfort. And yeah, it stings. Because this final battle isn't about breaking others, it's about not breaking yourself. See, everyone can fight when they're angry. Anyone can destroy when they're hurt. But few can protect what they've built with patience, control, and restraint. That's the rare kind of strength, the quiet one. The kind that doesn't shout, doesn't perform. It just endures. Nah. Don't mistake endurance for stillness. You're not frozen. You're focused. You've learned when to move and when to stay still, when to strike and when to step back. You've learned that sometimes silence screams louder than rage, because every reaction they want from you is a door you refuse to open. Every taunt you ignore is a victory they'll never understand. And oh wow, look at them now. Confused, frustrated, because your calm is louder than their chaos. They can't read someone who no longer plays their game. They expected you to crumble, to lash out, to lose the control that took years to master. But instead, you stood still, like a mountain that learned to smile at the storm. That's power, not the loud kind, the rooted kind. The type that doesn't need to prove anything because it already knows. You've outgrown their traps, their tests, their noise. You've learned that protecting your foundation doesn't mean isolation, it means discernment. You choose your battles now. You decide what deserves your energy. And that's when you realize, victory isn't about conquering the world. It's about conquering yourself. The noise, the ego, the hunger to always respond. Because the moment you stop letting chaos pull your strings, you become untouchable. Nah, this isn't the story of someone who wanted revenge. This is the story of someone who learned mastery, self-mastery, the rarest form of rebellion. The rebellion of patience in a world addicted to impulse. The rebellion of peace in a world that thrives on provocation. You guard your inner fire now, not to keep others warm, but to make sure it never burns uncontrolled again. That flame is yours. It's the focus, it's discipline, it's purpose, and no one gets to claim it but you. So when they come, and they will, you won't fight with anger. You'll fight with clarity, with silence, with the steady hand of someone who already knows the outcome. Because you've seen what happens when truth meets deception. Truth doesn't shout. It outlasts. Oh wow. And that's what terrifies them most. You didn't just survive, you stabilized. You didn't just awaken, you ascended above reaction. You've become what they feared you might be, untouchable by corruption, unreachable by manipulation, unshaken by noise. Now they whisper again, what nightmare did you give birth to? and you just smile because they still don't understand. Oh wow, you felt that, didn't you? That shift, that realization, that moment when everything clicked. You saw it, clear as day. The fear in their eyes, the doubt in their tone, the panic behind their calm faces. Yeah, that's what happens when someone finally breaks the pattern. You didn't just listen, you changed while watching. And nah, that's not luck. That's you waking up. That's focus taking form. That's power without noise, motion without permission. Look around. Now, the same ones who once laughed, they're quiet. The same ones who doubted, they're watching. Because deep down, they know you're not playing small anymore. You're moving with purpose. Every step now has weight. Oh wow. And that's beautiful, isn't it? Watching yourself turn into the person they said was too much. Nah, you're not too much. You're finally enough of yourself. You're becoming the version they weren't ready to face. So here's my message to you. Legend, don't dim that flame. Don't slow down now. You came this far to command the storm, not to survive it. Remember this feeling, this energy, this clarity. Let it stay. Let it lead. And yeah, they're freaking out right now because they can't categorize you anymore. You outgrew their boxes, outsmarted their games, and outlasted their silence. That's not chaos. That's control. So if this speech hits something deep inside you, drop your mark below. Tell me you felt it. Tell me you're ready. Because this right here is where the fearless find each other.